another thing, Kshemendra, that I'm hearing a lot from other CDOs is around the topic of data literacy. And data literacy beyond just being technical skills, but data literacy around the whole organization, vertically and horizontally. Curious what your thoughts are there and what you're seeing in your organization.
Yes, we at it may be because of our strong background around health informatics, healthcare, and evidence-based healthcare. Right, there's a strong focus on data quality, information quality, evidence-based decision making. That's kind of throughout the organization. We have a very lauded and leading research function here in the Department of Veterans Affairs, right? Going back to historical affiliation with universities, and of course with partners in HHS, NIH, FDA, the national coordinator, so on and so forth, CDC. So there's always been emphasis on that, but at the same time, the opportunity to use data, modern data management, data analytics to bridge information stovepipes, right? Whether they're between headquarters in the field, between headquarters programs, between organizational units, between functional kind of domains, does require a little bit of education, and to make it concrete and less aspirational, right? It has to be tied to the progress with implementing the roadmap, so that these leaders who have scarce time and want to be able to, if you're going to engage them, to be able to do something with that information, right? It has to be tailored. I go more broadly. As I mentioned, we have a fairly large data analytics workforce. We estimated about 10,000 individuals that are predominantly, data scientists, data managers, data engineers across the organization, and maybe a larger community that are part-time or management analysts that use data to do their jobs in a pretty profound way. So, that community, there's opportunities there too with just more technical education and literacy, right? And this goes back to the community building. One of our key metrics for the data strategy and on the people goal is engaging the workforce, right? Being able to talk to them and understand where they are and their needs. And then, supporting them through common solutions around training, information, and things like that. I'd highlight, again, this is one of the joys of working in the federal space and the community of us that are doing this. The Office of Personnel Management recently put out data science position description series classification, which provide career pathing and things like that, that then allows us to think about capability-based education at different levels of somebody's career, right? And then tie that to the kind of the mission imperatives and things like that. So those are all things that we're looking at, from educating consumers of modern data analytics to empowering the workforce, right, and doing it in lockstep with our federal partners.
Yeah. Appreciate those comments, because I know the listeners, as they are listening to you talk about the value of data literacy and the value of being conversant with data across the organization, is going to be really interesting to them. And I could go on with this discussion for a while, Kshemendra. This is really interesting, but I do want to try to ask you one more question before we summarize this session. Is, as some of these listeners in our audience today might be veterans, I'm wondering if you would want to maybe give them one or two initiatives that you are working on that they should be looking forward to hearing about as you progress with your roadmap. Are there any specific unique experiences that they should look forward to?
I'll highlight two. So we're working closely with the Department of Defense, and this is a long lead time kind of activity, but we get core veteran service and separation information from the Department of Defense into VA, right, marrying along with the service member veteran journey. We have a substantial community of veterans that are Guard and Reserve that activate and go back into active duty, then come back into veteran status. And so it's not just a linear flow of the veteran's journey. Sometimes a veteran's journey, right, takes that step back into active duty and then back into veteran status. The underlying systems, business processes, data management pathways aren't built to support that. So things get jury-rigged, right, over many, many years. And so it's really exciting that we now have a joint strategy for data analytics with the Department of Defense that just was recently signed out by the Deputy Secretary here at VA and the Undersecretary for Personnel and Readiness at DoD. And that's going to give us a framework with capstone data and analytics governance between the two departments that we're just putting in place to work out how do we harmonize the business logic and flow that back into the underlying information technology systems, right? And harmonize the data analytics policy so that at some point in the future, you change your information in one system in one department and it gets reflected in the other, right? Delightful customer experience, what citizens expect from their government and what veterans and service members expect from DoD and VA. That's not tomorrow. We're working it. We're working it. So that's one example. Another example I'll give is, we're supporting the largest IT project in government right now with the implementation of a single electronic health record between DoD and VA. Critical to that is, from the VA side and the DoD side too, but for the VA side, VA control over VA data and managing that data across the two electronic health records and ensuring that we're managing the quality of the data across the two. And we've been doing that with our partners in the electronic health record management integration office with the Department of Veterans Affairs. As we've done the recent cutovers in Walla Walla and Columbus, we've been able to performance measurably improve data quality migration in the process based on lessons learned and using modern data management techniques with Cerner and with partners. So two examples here where we're focused on improving data quality, improving data management to the benefit of veterans.
That's powerful stuff, Kshemendra. Thank you so much for sharing those. I love how you are leveraging data and aligning that to mission goals and actually making life of our citizens and veterans better. Thank you so much for that. And that is about all the time that we have today for chatting with you. Thank you so much for joining me today and sharing your perspectives. And for the audience, please continue to visit cdomagazine.tech for additional interviews. Thank you, Kshemendra.
Thank you, Adita.